Shauna was 17, and in 2006, she got in a car accident. And what I like to say is everything that we adults tell our own children and other children not to do, she did.
Okay, I have one of those Bracketron things that goes on the windshield. And so like I will, because it's right offset of my steering wheel, where I can use one finger to kind of, I have an Android too, so I can swipe. So I will.
She was holding onto her cell phone and texting, swerved to miss an animal.
I try to keep it to red lights or only switching like in between songs, but I do kind of have a nasty habit of getting distracted by a text, even though I know I'm not supposed to look at it. I'll look at it, see what it's about, and be like, oh, I know it says it can wait, but at the moment I don't feel like it can wait, so I've definitely been guilty of texting while driving.
She did everything that we, say don't do because it can hurt you or other people.
I usually only try to keep it to switching songs at red lights, but I try to do it through the actual car and just hit like the fast forward button, which automatically changes the song, but I mean, sometimes I use it on my phone.
And ultimately her decisions caused her passing, her death. Sean is the oldest of 3 girls. I think with the diagnosis of depression and the disordered eating, and we were in and out of, therapist and Strong Hospital for the eating disorder clinic, I think that the whole family struggled. It was really a hard time. For her senior English class, her teacher used to have the kids keep a journal. I was really proud of her because this really, gives me proof that she felt that she was becoming healthier. So that, to this day, that makes me cry when I read it. We always go to a family vacation for, around Easter, when school's off for the week. And she convinced us to let her stay home. And we did. And unfortunately, that's when she passed. Thursday, April 13th, we were packing, and she had to go to class. So she came into my bedroom and said, "Mom, I have to go now. I have to go to class, and I just want to hug you goodbye." And I said, "Okay." And I had left like little sticky notes with reminders of, don't forget to feed your cat. Don't forget to do your homework. Don't forget to lock the doors. Don't forget we love you. Call me, things like that. I left little notes all over. And she laughed about it, and she says, "I'll be okay." And we hugged tight. And then I'll never forget, she went to the door, and then she turned around, and she walked into the room again, and she said, "Can I have one more hug?" And it was absolutely. So we just hugged for the longest time. And I remember saying to her, "You need to be really careful. If anything ever happened to you, it would kill me." And as I hugged her, I just said, "This is from Dad, and this is from Whitney, and this is from Casey. They can't be here to say goodbye to you." This tells a lot of the story. She was texting the exact moment that the eyewitness behind her said that she pulled real hard to the left. She wasn't speeding, it wasn't raining, and she went into the ditch, and she was not wearing a seatbelt, and she hit her head so hard that it immediately killed her. But she did get thrown around the vehicle, flipped about 6 more times before it landed on its roof. And in that time, she had been thrown out and slid and came to rest. my husband's best friend is a lieutenant in the Rochester Police Department, and he's Shauna's godfather too. So while we were coming back up in the motorhome, we called him, and I remember saying, could you just please go, I don't want her being alone in the morgue. That was just awful feeling, and you don't want your children to ever be hurt or afraid or alone. And I knew she was dead, but I just couldn't shake the feeling of her not being, I didn't want her to be alone in the morgue in the city of Rochester. And it's hard during the holidays. It's hard for the anniversary of her death. April is a really hard month. And I think I can speak for the rest of the family with this, but it's almost like the season comes and you feel really off and very sad and emotional, and the day comes and then it's gone and then we're okay again. When someone passes, it's not an event that you get over. It's not a hill that you climb up one side and come down the other, and it's not a tunnel. You don't get through it. You live differently. I hope that other families don't end up having to live like we do. I'm not saying we have a bad life. I'm just saying it would have been better if she was here. We actually have a wonderful life, but we miss her every moment of every day.
My mom does, well, she knows I've got the thing, so she knows I'm being safe about it, but like, mostly, it seems like she always texts me when I'm like halfway driving home. It's like a 2-hour drive. I want to let her know that like everything's fine. Like if I don't answer, I'm always afraid like she's gonna be like, oh my god, he's like crashed in a ditch somewhere, but yeah.
I think my parents have got to know. I've never told them, but they'll do the same thing. They'll text me while I'm driving back home and be like, hey, how much longer until you're home? And then I'll send them a text back and they'll be like, don't text and drive. And I'll be like, okay, sorry. And then they'll ask another question. Even though I do it, I know there's no real safe time, especially when the car's going. Like when the car's in motion, I don't think there's any safe time to really do it.
I've been in the car with my friend who was texting and driving, and it was like kind of, we weren't really close, but we were just kind of like catching up, getting lunch sort of thing, and she was texting and driving, and I was like kind of too scared to say something because she was like going off the road, and we were like almost hitting a curb, and I kind of was like, hey, kind of just like shouted at her a little bit, but then she like realized, she's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, and then she like put her phone away for the rest of the ride. So I was very nervous, and it definitely impaired her driving.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hello.
Chris.
Ryan.
Hi, Ryan. My name's
Hi,
Gold, but
Brian.
my daughter's more Brian.
Right,
Peyton, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Right, so, we just wanted to have you in and talk to them about texting and driving. So, and share your story a little bit with them.
Okay.
So,
Right. Well, I have 3 daughters, and one of the hardest questions that I get asked now is, after people ask me, oh, how many children do you have? 3. Well, what do they do? How old are they? And when I have to tell them that my oldest would have been 30, but she died in a car accident due to texting and driving. And here, they gave us the things that were on her that they had to take off in the morgue. So in here are all her piercings. She had her ears pierced, and so her jewelry that was that she wasn't buried with. And then you've heard, it's
strange, but I really wanted her. I wanted some of her hair. So, I don't know if you guys have seen that. So, I put these things in our safe at home because this is the last that I will have of her here. I think until something serious happens to people, they don't pay mind to it. It has to, people have to feel, you know, the pain and the hurt before they think twice about it. I need to tell you that to be realistic, this isn't going to stop you from texting and driving. It's not. You know why? Because it's not your sister.